Something really odd about being by far the most powerful militarily superior state in the region, but also at the same time seeing yourself as a perpetual victim. I mean, that
Right.
combination of power and victimhood,
Yes.
I think, is what is somewhat unusual here psychologically. But you do compare it to South Africa, which is
Hmm.
white apartheid South
Yes.
Africa, which
Yes.
obviously for
Yeah.
some of your readers is going to
Yeah.
be controversial and maybe
Yes.
even beyond the
Yes.
pale. Can
Yes.
you maybe tell us a little bit
Yeah.
more about why you
Yeah. Yeah.
emphasize
Yeah. Yeah.
that comparison? Because presumably
Yeah.
that'll put some
Yeah.
people off. They'll be like,
Yeah.
oh my God,
Yeah.
Peter
Yeah.
Beinart is
Yeah.
comparing
Yeah.
Israel to
Yeah.
apartheid South Africa
Right.
in this very direct way.
Right. So yeah, people will sometimes say, how can you call it apartheid? Because apartheid is an Afrikaans word that means apartness, right? And this Israeli political system is not exactly the same, right? So for instance, no black South Africans could vote, whereas a minority of the Palestinians under Israeli control, the Palestinian citizens, the Arab Israelis, can vote, even though about 70% of those under Israeli control, the West Bank, Gaza, and East Jerusalem, cannot vote, right? So there are differences. But apartheid under international law simply means a legalized system of group domination and discrimination over one group, right? So that's why, I mean, most people don't really get upset if you call America in the 1930s an apartheid state, right? Because they understand that it's not exactly the same, but they understand what they mean by that, legal domination, right? And the harsh truth, which I never really thought enough about, the truth is that, I mean, talk about getting myself in trouble. Israel has now done things that are worse than anything that apartheid South Africa did, because actually apartheid South Africa never had an equivalent of Gaza, and the reason it didn't was because black people were the workforce. So you could not really, for your own self-interest, you couldn't really slaughter or expel these people in mass numbers because you needed them. And whereas what's so frightening about Israel-Palestine is Palestinians are a disposable population. Israel figured out how to largely replace with Filipino and Thai and other workers coming in, so they don't require Palestinians have much less influence as a labor force in Israel, which means that you can do this kind of thing to them.